Now, I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it that I'm the greatest wrestler alive today.
Yo, it's JPI Vance. Me got baby face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US away. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Me got baby face, me got big chair. Trump bad, Trump good, me no care. Me write big book, kill billies and stuff. Now me import and wear tie up tough. Me go Yale school, me learn big word. Now me forget everything me heard. Silicon people give me job, me take. Now me like Trump, me make no mistake. Yo, it's JP Advance. Me fight, walk, folk, me say never die. Me protect kids, me born liberal. Him, them. America simple, only two gender. Me face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US of A. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face.
Too many gender for my agenda. Went on a bender, execo defender. Might take Panama just like na. Might take Gaza, pop then a plaza.
With this one majesty.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Thursday. Had to think about what day it was. Hope you're doing well. And of course, it is the season premiere of Breaking Guthrie. Season 3 premiere. Oh yeah, that's right. And I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. The chat's excited. Mar Millen showed up on time, meaning early, to drop the pre-stream chat grift tax, and we appreciate that. Hail to you, Mar Millen. This show blows. Yes. BC Man says, I sent a super chat last stream before it ended. Did you? I think I highlighted, like anytime they come after the stream, if I'm playing like an outro, I'll highlight it. I didn't see that one though. No spoilers, streamer. I'll try my best not to throw any spoilers out there. Stormbreaker says, all hail Cobra Commander Jeremy and King Trump Cobra la. This is the new muted. An 86-year-old woman is out there terrified. I don't think she's out there at all. Listen, I hope she is. But I don't think she's out there at all. I think she's no longer with us. But I mean, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully she is. But I just see no scenario where this woman has survived the first day of missing. But we'll see. Hot dude looking for Jeremy. Oh, that's the Miki account, guys. You can't steal Miki's memes. He gets really upset when that happens. Okay. She hasn't had access to medication in days, dude. Yeah, exactly. And so rumors are that this could be the final season, season 4. So we'll see. Let's see. Moto Metal Racers, I support Jeremy because he's almost my age and looks 10 years older. Really? Most people think I'm younger than I am. But either way. Age gets all of us at some point in time. Better Call Savannah. Oh my God. Better Call Savannah. Yikes. She will be recast by Maxine Waters. Let's see. So she might be dead, but keep making fun of the situation. I mean, we're here for the memes, man. If you want the situation to be taken seriously, then maybe the situation should be taken seriously. In my opinion, this situation has not been taken seriously at all. The media has made a mockery of it. TMZ has made a mockery of it. The family has made a mockery of it. So if they're not taking it seriously, why should I take it seriously? Why should I take it seriously that a woman that sat on stage with Donald Trump wanted Trump to denounce people calling the Democratic Party evil pedophiles? Why should I give her the benefit of the doubt? Because she would never give me the benefit of the doubt. Would she? No. So I'm not going to give her the benefit of the doubt. If that doesn't work for you, go find a more respectable YouTuber. Spoiler, there's a lot of them, and I'm not one of them. Swig of water to the working man. That's good water. That's good water. This is a clusterfuck. People are trying to capitalize by fake ransom notes. Yes, they are. It's kind of crazy, actually. Andrew Zero says it should have been hot rabbis looking for Jeremy. Hey, check this out. I'm still so I know we have the Reddit, the subreddit that I created. So again, the point of the subreddit is for people if you want to send topics or whatever. You can go join the subreddit, the CobraCast subreddit. But for those that don't, I have also created a Twitter community for the Snake Pit, and I don't know if there's a link we can share or whatever. Cam Man, you're in there. So there's a Twitter community for the Snake Pit. That way you can drop links directly there. I'm getting tired of jumping through hoops like, oh, I'm trying to find this message request or that one. So hopefully, that will be easier for the people that want to join that community right there. And that'll be a lot easier for some. So we have the Reddit one for the people that want that. And then we have this one for the Twitter following as well. So we can focus on the cancer in one location. Twitter is better than Reddit. Some would say, some like the Reddit, and the Reddit's doing pretty good over there. So, but anyway, just wanted to give you options because ultimately options, that's all that matters, giving people options. So that's what we're going to do. We also have a lot going on centered around the SAVE Act, and we're going to discuss that among other things going on. That's a huge thing going on right now that can fundamentally change everything in November once we get there. So we'll see how that all turns out. Okay, let's see. Very huge AF. SAVE Act won't save you. Well, then you got nothing to worry about, right? You can go ahead and approve it, right? And it won't be a big deal. TMZ being involved is kind of cringe, as if Geraldo was involved. It's true. That's true. Vlad says, hey, bro, I'm going to stop by Pensacola tonight on my way to Texas. Let's grab some water and get together and talk Hulk Hogan. Water's on me. Not tonight, but I do appreciate the offer, especially going out there and paying for the water. I mean, that's a big commitment right there. That's a big commitment. Hey, Jeremy, what did you think of Pam Bondi's performance in the Senate? I thought it was horrible. I thought it was embarrassing. As a matter of fact, Alex Jones was on with Patrick Bet-David. Pretty sure that they talked about that. Let me go to my history and see because I had that pulled up. Pam Bondi sucks. She's not good. But that doesn't mean Thomas Massey is good either. Thomas Massey is garbage. So they're both terrible. But right here, okay, so Alex Jones, Patrick Bet-David, we're talking about that very moment right here.
You about Thomas Massey, Rob? Can you pull up the clip with Massey and Bondi?
Is he like trying to sound like Alex Jones, or is he sick?
There's a part about Massey and Bondi going back and forth. This is it. I want to get your thoughts on Massey. Go ahead, Rob.
Respond, and then the gentleman can move to the next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
You remember in school, we've all had that one teacher that whenever she talked, it just made you cringe beyond belief. That's her. That's Pam Bondi. Whenever I hear her talk, it is the most annoying thing. Like, listen to her. Like, it's always emotionally charged stuff from her.
Go ahead, Rob.
Respond, and then the gentleman can move to the next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
Okay.
and we invited you in.
Gentlemen.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
You need to
I
get
want
on
you to
these
watch the
matters.
video.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the rules here.
There is no credible information.
What do you think about Massey?
Like, that's somebody that spends way too much time on social media. You know, her saying that he has TDS, like, okay, of course he does. We know that. But her saying that in that setting came off incredibly cringe. Now, I think Thomas Massey is far worse than her, because Thomas Massey actively works directly against Trump openly. Like, that's what he is. Thomas Massey, Massey is a Democrat. He's an absolute Democrat. He is a grandstander and a loser. Both of them looked horrible because both of them are horrible. But at least she's better to look at.
Massey.
I think this is the only time where she was right. But I think Massey overall is the good guy comparatively. So I'm not putting him down. Just if you look at this one play, because I did see this last night. One reason I didn't sleep last night, I was addicted watching all this. This stuff's too riveting. They did leave Les Wexner, who's the CIA controller.
Somebody said Triple H. Bro, the internet is so amazing.
An owner of Victoria's Secret, a bunch of brands.
He's the one that gave the largest private residence, Manhattan, 54,000 square foot house to Epstein as a gift. That was a $77 million property for no reason.
And he just so happened to own the house that Lutnick moved into next door. It was
who owned it? Wexner?
Yep, same
I
deal.
didn't know that.
In a trust.
Really?
In a trust, yeah.
Wow.
It was called Common.
So he bought it from him. Lutnick bought it from Wexner?
He didn't even know that, and that's actually true, because I spent hours seeing if Lutnick was lying about this. It was just some big Manhattan real estate trust, but it turned out it was owned above it by Wexler and Epstein.
Yeah, I mean, those things you can't control. I live in an area where Paul Castellano, the boss of the, one of the big, I think it was the Gambino family or the Colombo family, who owned the house. So, hey, how did you get the house? Some of those things you can't control. But go back with the story.
Did Al Capone retire and die around here or something?
Yeah. You hear these types of stories. But go back to Massey. Massey saying that about Bondi. You were going to say something.
It is very, as a person that's been on stream with Alex Jones a couple of times, it is very difficult to keep him, very focused because this is what Alex does.
I mean, there's so much to say about Massey. I mean, here's the deal. I've tracked this out of the people that got involved, talking to Massey, Emerald Robinson, and so many others. Literally just got him asking questions a couple years ago, even before Trump got back in, and Massey was on this because the American people want it. That's why we're covering it. And then Trump gets in and says, yeah, we're going to go look at it. And then says, no, there's nothing there. It's a hoax. And we're like, what do you mean? And now there's all these documents. And then Trump starts saying, we got to get rid of Massey. He's a traitor. Trump started that. Trump is committing political suicide again with little cuts. He ran off MTG. I know the inside baseball on that. And I still support him. I've been nothing but persecuted supporting him. I don't get any money supporting him. All I get is attacks and lawsuits by the Democrats. Because overall, it's good what he's doing on so many fronts. He's dismantling the globalists. He's really bringing 20 trillion in jobs back. Already about 8 trillion invested. He's already got energy prices down substantively. So, but I have a responsibility still to report. He went and started a fight with Massey.
Why?
And made weird statements about his wife after she died. And then he attacked MTG. And listen, MTG isn't running for senator or governor. She's always been a successful woman in her own right. Had a very successful construction company, making tens of millions a year. I talked to her, good friends with her. I knew she was going to resign 5 days before she did. She said, I think I'm going to step down. I can't handle it. And she said, Alex, this is off record. But then later it came out. She said it again, so I can say it. They had a deep fake AI saying that was culled, though, from real statements she made, basically. She goes, the last time I really talked to him at any length, he just said, listen, we can't have these files come out because it'll hurt the stock market. It'll discredit America.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is terrible. I mean, it's very telling how she ran straight to CNN and the leftist media the first chance they got. And of course, we knew that's what was going to happen. She's kind of shown over and over again, who she is and how emotionally triggered she can get, for sure.
The faith and credit, basically, and it'll embarrass my friends.
Who said that?
Trump.
Said it to who?
Her. And now you got Bondi yesterday saying it in the Congress. But Roger Stone, when he was president-elect, said, hey, just so you know, this Epstein thing's going to be a big problem. And Roger doesn't mind me saying this now. But he said Trump's had the CIA come to him. He didn't tell me what Trump said, but they have dinner all the time. And he goes, Trump thinks it's going to ruin the economy, and it's a big tar baby. And the Democrats have had the file, and it's a setup, and the intelligence agencies say it can bring down the whole country. So, don't expect Trump to, but again, you can see how it's an unending fiasco. Like, in a way, Trump's right, but you can't let them get away with what they did. And again, it's 99% Democrats. So he's giving his main enemies the victory.
Well, the main problem with, and I will continue to say what I believe about the Epstein files, that it is a wide-ranging internet issue. And that is the majority of the focus is people on the internet. People in the real world don't care about the Epstein stuff. They just don't. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that is how it is. People in the real world don't give a shit about the Epstein stuff. It's an internet-focused issue. That is the bottom line on it. Now, where I believe that the Trump administration went horribly wrong on that front was, again, Pam Bondi and the binders. One of the biggest disasters this administration has had from an optics standpoint, because number one, it was fool's gold, and you got people excited. You got people excited for something that you had no intention on following through with. So ultimately, if you remember, like, the Epstein thing has always been like something that's kind of out there in the internet world and people talk about it. The moment that the administration directly acknowledged it and brought those influencers out there with those binders, we have been full steam ahead on the internet, focusing on the Epstein files. Full steam ahead since that moment. It has not slowed down at all. It just has gotten more intense from that moment right there. They gave everyone the oxygen that they needed, and they did it with something that they did not intend to follow through on. And since that moment, the Epstein stuff has been nonstop.
And then he's talking about how Bill Clinton's a great guy and a nice guy, and too bad he's got to testify to Congress about this. And Ghislaine Maxwell's a nice person, obviously trying to defuse things. And then meanwhile, he comes after MTG, who would literally, eat his shit off the floor previously if he asked her to.
Somebody in the chat says, Jeremy doesn't care that they killed 8 children if it hurts Trump. Well, you're a dumb motherfucker. Ultimately, nobody cared about this until Trump. And that's the problem. And you're too stupid to realize when Trump says it's a hoax that he's talking about that very thing. No one gave a shit. And guess who the president of the United States was when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested with his girlfriend? Guess who the president was? Oh, it was Trump. Guess who the guy was that's on record for calling the police on Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, it was Trump. This is not about protecting kids from a democratic standpoint or a panicking standpoint. This is about going after Trump. They don't care about the kids. They don't care about the crimes. They never have until it was centered around Trump. And people like you were too retarded to understand that. You think that the motherfuckers that are calling for the Epstein stuff to be released care about kids? Are you that fucking retarded? Do you seriously think that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer care about children's safety? Are you fucking kidding me right now? How stupid are you? You are an idiot if you believe that. What a stupid idiot.
Save the country. And Thomas Massey was like a Ron Paul type who's just very, very serious about his convictions. And so Trump turned them into enemies, made them more popular, Massey's more popular, even though they're trying to primary him, and put out that lie that she was polling bad. So that's why
I will agree with that. The thing about every time Trump goes after Massey is good at flipping the narrative and benefiting him. He's one of the few people that he seems to be immune from Trump's attacks. And I don't think Trump has fully understood that yet. That the more Trump goes after him, the more popular he becomes. And that's because he's good at flipping that, which credit to him. I'm not hating on him for that, but he's very good. He's very good at taking Trump's attacks and countering that to gain more support. I'm not sure how he pulls it off, but he does it.
She didn't want to run. Trump didn't want to run for the Senate. She didn't want to run for the Senate. So they just make up this bull. They attack their own party, and it's the stupidest thing ever. So, I mean, I need Trump to succeed, but this is so dumb.
Yeah, Massey doesn't give me the vibes of a bad guy. But when I watch Massey, he gives me the vibes of a good guy that he disagrees with them. What does he say? His famous line is, I'm with the president 91% of the time, and the 9% that I'm not is when we're fighting pedophiles and, a couple other things that he says there.
Attacking Iran. But, I mean, that's the other thing. Lake Tahoe was pretty.
Was that what you say? Tahoe?
I love Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe. See what it is.
Yeah.
So, sorry. What was I saying?
Massey
like squirrel. Yeah, no, Massey's the type of guy that comes off a farmer, nice and friendly, but you start messing with him, he's going to fight back.
He's a fighter.
And so,
yeah.
And you can tell he actually likes it now once the fight's going. Yeah. So it's like, Trump, you keep picking fights with some of the...
You think he is a possible candidate for 28?
There is not a planet in the solar system, in this one or the next, where Thomas Massey could win a national election. That is absolutely laughable. I have no idea what they're going to say right now, and you'll have the Massey losers in the chat are going to be like, Thomas Massey 2020. Again, I'm a fan of Ron DeSantis. The moment DeSantis went national, he imploded immediately. Massey has zero chance nationally. Zero.
For those that feel Israel's got a little bit too much influence, and for those that don't like the way Epstein was handled, you think he could be a leading candidate for 28?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if he can win, but he can definitely run and get a lot of votes and inject that issue into the larger discussion.
Massey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's formidable. And he's got a following. There's certain people that swear by him. And
he's a big fish in a small pond, just like DeSantis. The moment DeSantis jumped out of that small pond, he just became another random fish. And that's what would happen with Thomas Massey. However, Thomas Massey is not even a big fish in a small pond like DeSantis. I mean, DeSantis actually had a lot going for him before he decided to run for president, and it just imploded. Now, to be fair, a lot of DeSantis's problems are because Trump was in the room and he did not handle it very well. And Trump theoretically will not be around in 2028. However, Trump will be in play in terms of he's going to have influence on whoever is going to be the Republican nominee. He just does. He has way too much power and influence from that perspective, and he will continue to have that type of influence into 2028.
Follow what he has to say, and more and more you see him talk, you're like, okay, I was with Rand Paul the other day at DC, and we're doing a conversation. Of course, he's a libertarian. I've spent time with his dad as well. And you see the way they think is slightly different, but there's logic behind it. There's reason behind it where the average person can say, this guy sounds like a reasonable player. Guys, you've been at...
Somebody said right here, Thomas Massey got us part of the Epstein files. Trump told me I'm not his supporter because of it. Fuck Trump. I'm telling you, you're a retard. If it helps, I'm telling you, you're absolutely retarded, and not in a meme way, in a realistic way. You are retarded if you think that that's what Trump said. You are absolutely retarded. So I will confirm that right there. So Trump 100%. If I guess he picked up the phone and told you that. So it's cool that you had a phone call with Trump. that he called you up and said you're not his supporter. But in reality, in the real world, you know, the real world is Trump is tired of them using the Epstein stuff to go after him. All right. You probably watch Moist Critical and what's his other name? CoffeeZilla, because they talk about Epstein every time that they can build a negative narrative around Trump. Did CoffeeZilla or Moist Critical make any videos when the Epstein files showed that Trump was calling the police on Epstein? Did they make a video on that? Did they talk about it at all? Has the mainstream media? I was talking to my mom the other day and I told her about that. And she goes, that really happened? I haven't heard anything about that. And I said, Mom, it's because the mainstream's not telling you about it. My mom had no clue that had dropped in the Epstein files. Zero. And she watches Fox News. And even Fox News didn't report on it. They didn't report on it. This is what Trump is talking about. This is not about the Epstein files. This is not about victims. This is not about protecting children. This is about getting Trump and making him look bad. And there are a lot of low IQ people that have no idea how to think for themselves, that are being fed specific information, and all of the other information that is surrounding this, they're not being told about that. Absolutely hilarious. So yeah, crazy, but I mean, some people just aren't smart enough to, keep up with what's going on. Andrew Sarah says, Pam sucks. What kind of suck are we talking about? These are the important questions that we need to be asking right here. Let's see here. Daniel Moore Businesses, God of War Trilogy remake and side scroller. Let's go. Also check out the sub. I'm doing a CobraCast suit for MSM2. That sounds cool. Zalta Patriarch says, Alex and PBD were taking shots of olive oil before the show. They both have laryngitis. 29 months. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Heavy D says, Massey and MTG both like forced Boston cream pies. Vlad says, all right, man, I'll get you some Culvers. No problem, bro. Alex Jones' interview was great. It is interesting to see him try to keep Alex Jones on point. Miniature Ronthink says, really interesting update on the Scottish axe girl. The 12-year-old who went viral last year, turns out from the courts, the dude filming them had already injured them and got into trouble for trying to get 4 others their age in the same area into services. I remember that story. I'd forgotten about it until you just mentioned that one. Hadu looking for Jeremy says, FBI was told to destroy Epstein prison tape in 2024. Dumb old bear says, files might take down the prime minister here in the UK. Ramtax says, the truth is that there is no actionable evidence in the files. It's coded talk without the Rosetta Stone. You can't do anything about anyone in the files. Yeah, it's all an optics game, and that's what people, these people seem to think that, like, there's nothing in the Epstein files that is going to get anyone arrested. It's all an optics game. And this is why the Epstein situation is all it is another version of Me Too. And you're either smart enough to realize that or you're too stupid to realize it. But the Epstein situation is just another version of Me Too. That's it. And all of you motherfuckers that were dismissing Me Too, a lot of you are eating this Epstein thing up thinking, oh, the Epstein thing, because you are so controlled. So you may miss you may dismiss COVID, but you will eat up the next lie when they present it in a pretty package to make you think that they care about you. They don't care about you. They never cared about you, but they're using something to emotionally manipulate you into caring about this by making you think that something is going to happen. But the reality of it is, it's only about taking down Trump. That's it. That's all this shit is. It's Me Too 2.0, and they're just emotionally manipulating you, making you think that they care. And they don't, and they never will. So everything in the Epstein files, nobody's getting arrested. Nobody's going to jail. because this is all hearsay. And it's all about optics. It's like, can we use these optics to take people down that are in certain positions? But it's not about getting justice. It never has been. It never will be. So there you have it. Bubba Dank with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. So yeah. So just remember, you support this Epstein nonsense, you're supporting the Me Too movement as well. It's just all about accusations. And if somebody gets accused, if somebody's name's in there, then they're just going to be deemed guilty because the context, be damned. Context doesn't matter because it's all a democratic. I think Alex Jones said it. He's like, right now, the mainstream narrative right now is that Republicans are protecting PDF files. That's the narrative. Because Democrats are the one pushing this nonsense. Democrats are pushing this. Democrats still control the narrative. And there's a lot of emotionally weak people that can't see that right there. Like, look at the Trump narrative about him being a PDF file. Elon, they've got Elon tied up into it. They've got Trump tied up into it. All of these left-wing streamers and content creators never talk about the powerful Democrats who make up 99% of the Epstein files. They only talk about Trump and Elon. That's it. Because it's not about this shit that you guys think it is. Ramtax says the truth is, I got that one. Giggity says the Democrats sat on these files for 4 years. I thought they cared, but suddenly now, like under Biden, no mention of the Epstein files. No mention of the Epstein files. And then suddenly Trump gets back in office. Oh, we care about Epstein suddenly. Okay. And again, somebody says it. Let me see it. Somebody said I lost the plot. I want to highlight it so bad, but I can't find it. But again, whoever said I lost the plot, joke's on you. I never had the plot. Joke's on you. If you think I ever had the plot to begin with, you're just showing how retarded you are. Vlad says, let's see, how come we can't see Mueller's face? Does he look like Quasimodo? Moto. Heavy D says, Massey counters by cupping and solid shaft work. MAGA Mike says, proud to have stood by Trump through it all. MAGA. You damn right. Debased Wizard says, do research yourself. Don't become a sheep. Well, people don't want to do that on the internet. So, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so yeah, this is this is a Geeks and Gamers topic primarily, but God of War trilogy remake. This was the state of play. So are they gonna take out the offensive stuff? Is that what's gonna happen? Probably. They're probably going to take it out. So I know you guys are having trouble finding the snake pit. So a few people have tried to join. I don't know if there's like a link we can send out or what. I saw Donnie Danko say he was trying to find it and he couldn't. So I don't know why it's being difficult. So Kratos is going to be non-binary. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what they will do. What is this right here? Epstein's former defense attorney threatens to sue Piers Morgan's guest on air after he makes serious allegations. Let's hear this.
2 women accused you under oath. You settled for nearly $1 million. Innocent men don't pay. They go to trial.
That's another lie. Not a penny. You're lying. You're defaming me. You are now going to be sued. You are now going to be sued for saying I paid $1 million. You're going to be sued. I'm going to make it very clear. I'm filing a lawsuit immediately. I'm instructing my lawyers to file a lawsuit against him for saying I paid $1 million. What happened is a woman falsely accused me. She admitted she may have mistaken me and confused me for somebody else. She dropped all of her charges. Not a single penny was paid nothing, and it's all in the agreement, all a matter of court record. You saying that I paid $1 million is going to result in you having to pay me many millions.
Dude, this shit's funny. Like, it's all it is. Like, here, can somebody give me a prominent name in politics that truly has proven that they care about the truth of the Epstein files? Can somebody give me a prominent name in politics right now, an elected official who actually cares, who's proven that they care? Name one. Just name one. Besides Donald Trump. Oh, Massey? You mean Massey, the guy that stood with the victims? Massey, the guy that stood with the victims 6 or 7 months ago, and those victims said they're going to make up their own list. Thomas Massey cares? Good Lord. Oh, my God. So if he cares, why aren't those victims naming those names? Please tell me. Please tell me. Anna Paulina Luna, that's not a bad one. But tell me that. Why hasn't he fought to have those victims release those names? Those Epstein victims says, we're going to make our own list. They said it. We're going to make our own list. What does that sound like to you? That sounds to me like a Me Too movement. I think it was this one right here. This one?
I ask everyone.
Who's that one woman that said that they were going to make their own list? Can't find that clip right now. But yeah, there was this Epstein victim that she stood up there. She says, we're going to make our own list. And you're like, oh, you're going to make your own list? Well, where is it? Where is it at? If they know the names, why aren't they releasing them while Thomas Massey was standing right there with them? Very interesting indeed. Is this it? I think this is the one. Yeah, here we go. I think this is her. Hang on.
Let's begin our own fight. The survivor revolution.
The Epstein files are not about loyalty to any one political party. They're evidence of a crime.
Far too long, survivors like me have been dismissed, silenced, are told that our pain was exaggerated or fabricated.
Standing in front of a microphone right now, tell us who these powerful men are right now. Tell us.
And every survivor who is scared right now, your fear is real. Your courage is real. And even though we're terrified, we keep showing up.
We're united in the call for transparency, complete transparency, to find justice.
We are hearing the administration say they intend to investigate various Democrats who were friends with Epstein. I beg you, President Trump, please stop making this political.
This is not a hoax, and
It's interesting how she pointed out President Trump, but she didn't point out Joe Biden or Bill Clinton or Barack Hussein Obama. But definitely it was Trump's fault, apparently.
we will not be erased.
I am traumatized. I am not stupid.
The truth is simple. We were victimized as children and failed repeatedly by the very system that was supposed to protect us.
These pictures that you see, they're real people. I wish I could go back and give my former self a hug and say, this matters and it's going to change, and mean it.
No, but what you could do right now is you could tell us who these people are so we can have a direct investigation on them so we can prevent other people from being victimized. This video is like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months old. So let me just take it at face value. You were victimized and you want justice against the people that did it. We have a ton of women here, strength in numbers. They say they have lists that they can release. Why not release the list? so that we can avoid any other victims, or at the very least, we can know who these people are. What are we waiting on?
Is not about you, President Trump.
What we endured was real, and it has scarred lives across 5 presidential administrations.
That's why we stand here today, to demand justice and accountability, not just for Epstein and his crimes, but for every predator and every enabler who participates in or protects abusers.
Shame on any elected official who obstructs truth and justice for the American people.
So I am begging every member of Congress, every representative,
justice delayed is justice denied.
Choose the survivors. Choose the children.
You are our president. Please start acting like it. Show some class. Show some real leadership. Show that you actually care about the people.
This is TDS, bro. That's all this is TDS.
Other than yourself. I voted for you, but your behavior on this issue has been a national embarrassment.
How can we keep America great if the principles the nation was founded on, that power belongs to the people, is not protected?
Land of the free. In 1863, we have a woman on top of the Capitol building, represent freedom. I do not feel free today. I don't know if the women behind me feel free today.
The Epstein Files Transparency Act is not just about survivors. It's about America itself.
To anyone who benefits from the current system, intentionally or not, remember this. Alone, yes, we are afraid. But together, we are feared.
And we've heard nothing since then. So my point being is, if you think that all of these Democrats that are now talking about the Epstein files suddenly care about Epstein and care about victims and care about protecting children, I don't know what to tell you. You're too far gone for me to have a rational conversation with you. The truth is that Epstein was a bad dude. He did a lot of bad things, and there's a lot of people that are connected to him that should be exposed. The reality of it is that most of that stuff that is truly incriminating doesn't exist anymore. Does not exist. A lot of the shit that you're seeing in these files is testimony from people that was never even verified. The biggest thing was that Trump was accused of, whatting underage girls, teenage girls. And that's what the media ran with. Unverified by any account. But that was the headline out of all of this. Because most of the shit in those files is nothing that can actually be confirmed or investigated. And the people that are telling you that this is important to them don't give a shit. And that's the truth. Phil for 20 says, Massey is asshole. He truly is. Ehab says, Gothix announced she's running for office. She could use our support. That's awesome. Gothix is great. Valkyria Winter says, Aussie here. I'm here for the chaos and enjoying the hot Jeremy yelling at people. So continue to go. Go 199, Uwu, and Skull. Thank you, Valkyria Winter. Miniature Vrunthing says, why can't we can't get the lower pleb activist judges arrest to stick? None of the elites are going to jail off of hearsay, and it's obvious. But you have people out there believing that there's this massive cover-up from the Trump administration. It's just insane. Jay Skywalker says, Bondi deflection is hard to watch. Terrible hearing. Bondi is terrible. She really is. Fennel Floyd says, leftist handshake, black pilling right. Yes. Right there. Minister Rolling says, you don't understand, Jeremy. They don't want to say the names because they're afraid. That's why they're putting their faces all over national TV. Exactly. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Like, we're fearful, which is why we're on national TV speaking out. What? It doesn't make any sense. it's just like whatever. Common sense is not so common anymore, apparently. So I do wish I could find that clip where she says we're going to make up our own list. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, right here. Okay. Is this it?
He's not just a serial predator. He was an international human trafficker. And many around him knew, many participated, and many profited. And yet he was protected. So I stand here today for every woman who has been silenced, exploited, and dismissed. We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors? And also, I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list.
Whoa! Me Too 2.0, baby. I'll accept your apologies via Super Chat for any of you that were complaining and telling me that I was, making this up or whatever. I'll accept your apology via Super Chat.
We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors.
There you have it. Thomas Massey stands with this right here, which is Me Too 2.0. Simple as that. Super chats are for grifters. Yes, and that is who I am, and that is what I do. You're very welcome. But there it goes. Just dropped the truth for all of the virtue signalers out there. Marmalade says, not sorry, you fig tax. Dan Bass says, I apologize. Well, at least Dan apologized, okay? So that was nice. That was nice. Okay, so listen. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Season 3 of Breaking Guthrie is about to premiere. I know you're excited. I know you can't wait. Season 3 of Breaking Guthrie, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got some new developments in Breaking Guthrie. Yesterday, we got a OJ Simpson. A black glove. I just thought about OJ because, black glove. But, a black glove appeared. And very original writing, by the way. I have never seen a black glove found at a potential crime scene. So, yeah. A black glove, a lone black glove. I couldn't believe it. And now we have some more developments. So here we go.
When a perpetrator is fleeing the scene, they may be geared up and gloved up and masked up when they're at the location. But once they flee the location, they may start to discard things out the window of the vehicle, such as rubber gloves. And those are the kind of things that law enforcement is probably looking for are on the side of the road.
And the recovery of a black glove could be a key piece of evidence in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Right now, investigators have just set up a tent on the front door of Nancy's home. Jason Pack is a former FBI agent and hostage negotiator. First on the...
Now, I would like to know, so hang on. Let's see. I'm not certain, but I think we're one step away. We are one step away from this moment. If the writing is consistent, we're already getting a tent set up in the beginning of the Guthrie house. We could be getting close to this moment right here. In Breaking Bad. We'll see, but we're not there yet, but we're getting close. We're getting very, very close. All right.
Jason Pack is a former FBI agent and hostage negotiator. First on the glove, the significance.
Well, Dana, it's hard to say. If it is significant, then you saw the evidence response team from the Phoenix division recover that yesterday. They've already sent that off. They're testing it. And what that'll actually allow them to do is start a new canvas point. So now,
like, seriously, like a black glove, a lone black glove. Like, this is, I want to preface what I'm saying right now. I genuinely hope that Nancy Guthrie is okay. I really do. I do. But my jokes about this are nothing to do with her. My jokes are surrounding this disastrous case from the get-go. It has been insane to watch this all play out. Just so people know, like, this is what we're dealing with, okay? At the OJ crime scene, we had a black glove as well. And I'm like, what are we doing, man? Like, what in the world is going on? We've got a black glove at the crime scene now. This is such a joke.
now at that 1.5 miles away where these gloves were found, they're going to start a whole new investigation of digital canvas, video canvas. They're going to go door to door and look and see if there are any other data points that they can discover to kind of help put some context with these gloves.
How would they be able, based on your experience, would they be able to tell if what they can see in the video matches that glove?
I think that's a little hard to do because they're so common. These nitrile gloves are pretty common around there. There may be ways to do it if they're able to do, the forensic unit is able to zoom in and see if there are any exclusive marks or something like that they could match to those gloves. If it had a tear or some kind of puncture that we can't see, if they have better video than they've released, we just don't know, but it's possible, but it can be difficult.
We also don't have a lot of information about why this tent just went up in the last couple of hours. It was right out front of her door. This is the 12th day of the investigation. What might be happening?
Well, in every investigation, when you get either a tip or you get a return from the search warrant, this CAST team, the cellular analysis team that looks at the phone and digital data, there are micro dots that they can plot if any devices that have come through there. So that's probably why you also saw Alicia Acuna reported last hour about the agents out there at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. This is a 24/7 op. So there may be pieces of digital data that's leading them to go look for these particular items. Maybe it's something they dropped. Maybe it's something that pinged, but they are using intelligence to drive their investigations on these things.
I want to put up for everybody here the timeline of this investigation, starting with Nancy Guthrie going missing on Saturday, January 31st at 9:48 p.m. where she was dropped off, and then somewhere between then and the next day at noon is when her friends, who she was going to gather with to watch a church service, said there might be something going on here. Where is she? You have told our producers that you believe this timeline is the backbone of the entire investigation. Can you explain?
Yes, Dana. Most of these cases are solved through that timeline. And when you put up a timeline, you're able to put a definite piece of information up. And you go back and you, against that timeline, you compare what
are we at now? Are we at like 14 days or something like that? Like, what are we at? 13 or 14 days that this has been going on. And we have, do you know who I think based, and again, I'm memeing here. Okay. I'm memeing, but do you know who the prime suspect is based on the information we have right now? The prime suspect, in my humble opinion, and again, for legal reasons, I am memeing, okay? But it's pretty obvious. The prime suspect is TMZ. TMZ has more information than everybody. This right here, I'm tired of TMZ being the central character of this horror story. It's TMZ. They're the main focus of this entire disaster. They've got more screen time than anybody. They have more information than anybody. They've been referenced more than anybody. It's them. They're getting the emails. They're getting the ransom emails. They have access to the bank account with the Bitcoin, like everything.
what people are telling you. You compare their alibis, you put the digital evidence, you put the forensic evidence on this timeline, and you're able to prove what people say. So you'll get a statement from someone that you interview saying, yes, I was here, no, I was not here. Then you get their information from their device. You see if they were telling you the truth or not, and you plot that. So when you go back to the timeline, we work on, or the FBI works on 100%. So when you go back to that timeline and you say, hey, the software detects a person on the camera at February 1st, how do you know that? Well, I have a piece of forensic evidence that.
Like, if you eliminate all the nonsense from this story, let's eliminate all of the craziness. Just on face value alone, it is a terrifying story that a 80-something-year-old mother who lives alone could be kidnapped. On the surface, horrifying, very scary, very nerve-wracking, hits home with everybody. But then you add all of the stuff into it, and it becomes almost comical how this is all played out.
Proves that. So you're able to prove everything on that timeline. Another important point about this timeline, this is the public timeline that we know about. There's probably a more comprehensive timeline in the FBI's command post there at the Tucson resident agency that they have that we don't. So hopefully that's what we're seeing as a result of that investigative timeline that we don't know. That's why we're seeing this activity in the field today.
And then you might be able to also have a third level of the timeline as you have the digital forensics that come in, and you can plot those points.
Yes, exactly. So you'll get a return from a search warrant or a court order or whatever the process they use to get this information. It'll have a timestamp on it. You have to adjust it for the time where you are and make sure the machines were set to the correct time to begin with. So it's highly technical, but doing that, you're able to put that piece of definite information on that timeline and then compare it to what people are telling you in the interviews. So it's a great way to compare and contrast what people are saying and to verify the veracity of their statements.
Last question. Would you expect if there is a ransom to be paid, or if there is a way to find out if she is proving some signs of life, would we get that today in the 12th day of the investigation?
Well, I think that's the key piece of information.
FBI just releases description of suspect and his backpack in Nancy Guthrie disappearance. So there you have it. They just released this right here, $100,000 reward from a family that apparently has tens of millions of dollars to put in a Bitcoin. The FBI released details on the suspect in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, describing him as male, approximately 5'9", 5'10", with an average build, wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail Hiker bag backpack. The reward has increased from $100K to $100K as agents review 13,000 plus tips. That's a pretty generic bag. You can get that at any Walmart, I think. So not really specific there on that, but you know.
That people are hoping to get, particularly if the kidnappers have her, they've not been able to prove that. So that's an avenue that they haven't forgotten, but they're also concentrating on the actual piece of evidence that they do have, which is this photograph, these videos of the person that actually came to the house. So I think that is the key piece of information which investigators and agents are acting upon right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
So
catch me and my
so you got that, and then there was one more. So right here,
National Private Investigator.
So they've got new footage that they are reviewing. I guess they might have like a person that they are considering a potential suspect, but we've already seen them round up Carlos and Hector, and they questioned Carlos and Hector, and they let whichever it was. I think his name was Carlos. I think they let Carlos go. I mean, that's a clear case of profiling, by the way, which I fully endorse. I have no problem with profiling, but it's clear that they profiled when they picked that guy up. They're like, oh, Mexican? Oh, his name's Carlos? Oh, let's round that guy up. He probably had something to do with it. Turned out he didn't, apparently.
In reading the messages coming from local law enforcement and the FBI. On one hand, there is this sense that they are zeroing in. There's forward deployment of HRT, of SWAT. There is some sense that they have leads that might be pointing them in some very limited directions. On the other hand, they're canvassing video from a month and a half long period, suggesting that the investigation is still wide open.
And just before we move on to that, I want to go back to this because listen to this. TMZ, all right, TMZ has received another email from the person who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper, and the words are chilling. Why is TMZ receiving this? Why is Harvey Levin the central character in this story? It makes no sense.
TMZ has obtained a second email from the man who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper.
Now, just to be clear, TMZ gets all of this information, yet TMZ has never reported on the fact that Harvey Levin, their founder, was directly mentioned in the Epstein files in a pretty damning way. Pretty interesting that they have not addressed that yet.
We told you yesterday that this man sent us an email saying that he will reveal the name if he gets 1 Bitcoin. We checked the account all day. He did not receive anything. The account is bare. So this morning, just
Thank you,
after
Jay Viper.
8 a.m.
Appreciate the raid,
Pacific
brother.
time, he sent us this other email complaining that he is not being taken seriously. He says that he wants the Bitcoin, which is worth around $67,000, for several reasons. Number one, he says by coming forward, he will become a, as he puts it, a national rat. He also says, and this is a quote, he doesn't want to be, quote, incriminated like that guy Carlos. Remember, Carlos is the delivery man.
Carlos gets a mention. I didn't know that was happening. Our boy Carlos getting a shout out. Carlos gone but not forgotten. A legendary cameo appearance from Carlos in season 2 of Breaking Guthrie.
Who was taken into custody a couple of days ago. Briefly, he was detained and then released. He says that he fears retaliation if he comes forward, and that he needs the Bitcoin because he's going to have to lay low after coming forward. And then he talks about a difference between yesterday and today. And we are not going to get specific about what he's talking about. It is chilling what he is insinuating here. But we have told law enforcement we're not going to get specific about that. But he makes it very clear here that this will be his second and last attempt. We have checked the Bitcoin address that he sent us. By the way, the one from yesterday and today, they are the same. And we checked the Bitcoin address just before I'm shooting this and talking to you. And again, there is nothing in that Bitcoin account, at least right now.
What a wild circus this is. Now, just for context, this is our boy Carlos, who was detained by law enforcement. Let's listen to Carlos.
You were apprehended for questioning. How would you describe what happened to you?
Terrifying. Something I didn't do for something. I was being like, I felt like I was being kidnapped, bro, because they didn't tell me anything at the beginning.
And investigators showed up to this house, or were you the one who was pulled over in the traffic stop?
I was the one that was pulled over at the traffic stop.
Where was that?
Right here on by Chubasco.
Okay, and you were taken into custody at that point?
Yeah.
And you were
I was being detained.
Detained, okay.
I was detained the whole time.
Okay,
That's
where?
what they told me.
Where were they
At
holding
the
you?
back of a car.
Back of a
I
car.
ran a car, and then they moved me into a Pima County Sheriff.
Are you ever up in Tucson?
Yeah, I work in Tucson.
What do you do?
GLS, deliver packages.
Okay, do you think you might have delivered a package to Nancy Guthrie's house?
I don't know. Might have been a possibility.
That's the only thing he said that made me rise up with an alarm is that. If you are a delivery driver, if you were specifically asked if you delivered to this house that is in 100% focus now of law enforcement, there's a way to find out if he's been to that house. There's absolutely a way. And I would almost like, I've done a lot of delivery work in the past. I don't know how many deliveries he does a day. I can understand if you do like, you know, hundreds of houses per week, maybe they start looking all of the same, but I have a hard time believing he would not know that he had been to that house. That was the only answer that really stood out to me.
Tucson?
Yeah, I work in Tucson.
What do you do?
GLS, deliver packages.
Okay, do you think you might have delivered a package to Nancy Guthrie's house?
I don't know. Might have been a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, do you ever deliver like Amazon packages or anything?
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said GPS coordinates would 100% be able to confirm that. I get it though. Like I've seen a few of you say like, you know, all the houses look the same. I do get that. I do. But I don't know, man. I've done deliveries before as well. I feel like within a couple of days removed and how focused this has been, it feels like you would know.
So do you think you may have, did they indicate that you might have been on her property? You're not sure?
Nah, they just came up. They until.
Yeah, you are right though. I mean, let's just apply it to me being a streamer. I can't remember what I said yesterday. So it's fair enough, Carlos. Fair enough. We're going to let you off the hook because the chat's always like, hey, Jeremy, you remember what you said 4 years ago on this date on this timestamp? I'm like, I don't remember yesterday, bro, but I'm glad you do.
Right now, all I know is that they show my in-law a picture of somebody wearing a mask or something, and they supposedly look like my eyes.
Right. Okay.
That's it. That's all I know.
Okay. Jeez. How do you think they connected that case to you?
I'll go ask them, bro.
Okay. So
that's something you gotta ask them. I can't answer that question.
Did they take anything from your house tonight?
No, I don't know. All I can say is they took my phone.
Took your phone. Right. You don't have your phone right now.
Overall, he seems genuine with the exception of that one answer, but overall, he seems genuine. We like Carlos. Carlos might be the best character we have met in this journey of breaking Guthrie at this time. Right now, Carlos is my front runner for the Emmy Award. Isn't that the TV award? So right now, I have Carlos being nominated for an Emmy as it stands right now. We shall see.
So the fact that they've mobilized their HRT team, which is the team that would affect the arrest of the perpetrator, tells me that they are starting to narrow in the scope of their investigation, and they want the team in place so that the team can be dispatched and react on a moment's notice.
But why then would you need to go back and look for neighbor video over a month and a half long period from the beginning of January to the date of the crime?
Because the investigation is still an active investigation, and they're looking for any clues. I said from the very beginning that I believe that this individual conducted some sort of surveillance prior to the date of the crime, which means typically they'll do a drive-through of the neighborhood, several days before, several weeks before. They'll go there multiple times, frequently trying to find the best way and the quickest way to get in and the quickest way to get out.
I'm still, Doctor, I will bring you into the conversation. On one hand, law enforcement is guarding information fairly closely to the vest. They're not sharing things with the public. That's become eminently clear. On the other hand, they're turning to the public for help for more information. Again, putting us in this position of, are you zeroing in? Is that why you're withholding information? You don't want to compromise the investigation? Or are you at a place where you're really asking, hey, we don't have it here. We need you, the public.
Well, yeah, I think it's about narrowing it down. I think there's so much chaos. There's so much noise being brought into this investigation, whether or not ransom notes are real, whether or not people detained are actually involved in the crime or just somehow ancillary involved. I think they're trying to focus, they're trying to tune out all the noise and try to figure out where exactly is the next step in this investigation. Where's the next piece that needs to be laid down in order to finalize and get Nancy Guthrie back?
In some ways, I feel like they are asking for the noise, asking for tips, soliciting 4,000 different calls to come in, which would suggest if you...
I just tweeted out a link to the CobraCast community on Twitter, by the way. So for those of you that have been trying to find it, I just tweeted it out so you can join that way if you want. Right there. I just tweeted it out so you can find the link right there on my Twitter account. You can follow there if you want. I went ahead and made it public for right now, too, so it's easier for everybody to join in.
don't have some leads, you need someone to provide you those leads. Instead of zeroing in, they're opening up the investigation. But I'm not the investigator. You guys are both the experts on this. Stay with me for just a moment, guys, because we have brand new video that we want to share with you.
Here it
There
is.
is new video TMZ says is on the FBI's radar in this case. It's being widely discussed online.
Is that Mike? Is this the video of Mike?
Was captured at 1:52 in the morning
Honestly,
at a home.
Mike would not have been caught on video. We have Mike from Breaking Bad would never have been caught on video, so there's no way that this is Mike.
5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. You see a man in the video both wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. One of them has reflective stripes similar to the one worn by the man in the Nest camera video. The man appears to try and open a gate at a residence and is unable to do so. He leaves at 1:53. As a reminder, we have been told by law enforcement that software detected someone on camera at 2:12 a.m. So there would be 19 minutes in between this moment and that moment. And we want to be clear here. The person in this video is not a suspect or subject in any way at this time, but the video is out there and it's getting a lot of attention. So we wanted to address it, and it is being considered by the FBI. All right, let's turn back now to Jay Armis.
So let me recap what Will Kane said. Let me just do it. Let me get the breaking news right here. Okay, so hang on. Where'd the breaking news thing go? All right, here we go. Here we go right here. Here we go.
And they're opening up the investigation, but I'm not the investigator. You guys are both the experts on this. Stay with me for just a moment, guys, because we have
Okay, so we have breaking news in Breaking Guthrie Season 3. We have new video obtained by TMZ. Yes, the same TMZ that gets all the information surrounding this entire story. Suddenly, TMZ now has video footage. They're getting the emails. They have access to the Bitcoins. They're getting the ransom letters. And now they're getting video. And what this video tells us is that, once again, law enforcement has no fucking clue what's going on. They have no clue at all. Chances are the man in the video is either named Hector or Carlos. We don't know yet. But we basically put a breaking news banner in front of this video to let you know that the FBI is looking at a video. And that's all the information that we have. So there's literally nothing to talk about. But if we put the boom breaking news, it makes it seem like there's something more going on. But in the reality of it is there's absolutely nothing going on at this point in time. Thank you guys for participating in this moment right here. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
So 1:52 a.m. And we need to put that into the timeline of when we see the video from Nancy's Nest camera footage, which I believe we just stated was at 2:12. Previously, there had been some discussion about 1:47 a.m.
The person in the video that was just shown, he may have been just a random burglar going and doing what they do at 2 o'clock in the morning, going from place to place, trying to see if they can break into cars, break into homes. The person that perpetrated this crime was definitely in a vehicle because he had to be able to remove Miss Guthrie from the.
We have a new suspect right now, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new suspect, and I have the first ever footage of it right here. I know you're used to TMZ getting exclusive rights, but CobraCast now has a suspect. This is the first images released on the internet from the suspect. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go right here.
Vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
There you go. Okay, so right there we have vote for Pedro. That was the words that our suspect said. This is our suspect right here. Appears to probably be 5'1", maybe on a good day, 5'1". And as you can hear, vote for Pedro. So this is our next suspect in Breaking Guthrie. We will let you know when we get more information.
Location in a vehicle.
Let's go back to Dr. De La Torre. Let's talk about video for just one moment. As I understand it, people have on their front door, often a Ring branded camera. In this case, it was a Nest branded camera, which is operating.
Okay, so now Pedro's already working the political side here because of his appearance here. He's already looking for best supporting actor. This is what Pedro had to say.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
Thank you, Pedro. Okay, so we're pretty invested in this at this point in time.
By Google. They can or cannot hook that up to a server, a cloud service. Many of us have that. I'm sure many people watching do. And when you do have that connected to the cloud service, you have the capability of going back and reviewing footage from several days, maybe even weeks in the past. That doesn't seem to be the case here. It seems to be the case that if you do not connect it to the cloud footage, everything is recorded on the local device. So if the perp takes the camera device off of the door, and we've seen the empty holder, he now has basically absolved himself from anything that happens on video afterward, and it's hard to recover what happened before because it's on the device. Now, this is what Google and the FBI were able to do. They were able to go get this video, even though it was supposedly only on the local device, and give us the image that we have. My question for you is...
So FBI Phoenix just released this. Today, the FBI is increasing its reward to $100,000 for more information leading to the location of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved with her disappearance. New identifying details about the suspect in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie have been confirmed after a forensic analysis of the doorbell camera footage by the FBI's Operational Technology Division. And kind of repeating some of the stuff that we had said previously about this. So we really have no more information. We have no more information. Like, all of this is a long way of telling you that they don't have any more information as it stands. That is where we are. This is again, the most clumsy story I have seen in a long time. John for 20 says, have you noticed no one has asked if the woman is still alive? The family hasn't made any more statements, and the kidnappers to release her. Nobody seems to ask for proof of life. And this is coming off of like the video of Savannah Guthrie saying, we received your message and we understand. Do you remember that one? Again, there's people that may or may not know about that one, but like that when she says we've received your message and we understand, and it was so strange when she said that. Is this it? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. It was the one where she had the 6 fingers or whatever.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
This is like 6 days ago. Who did she receive a message from? What message did they receive? What was in the message that was said? And you said you would pay, yet you haven't paid. None of this shit makes sense, dude. None of it. Not one single bit right now. Law enforcement does not want to tip their hand in the Nancy Guthrie case, cybersecurity expert says. Then why are they letting her send videos out like this? That doesn't make any sense at all, that they don't want to tip their hand. What do you mean they don't want to tip their hand? They've already tipped their hand. They've already given out all this information. Watching the NASCAR duels. When is that starting now? I got to pull that up. Yeah, I was going to watch that tonight. So I call them the twin 125s because that's what I used to call them, the twin 125s. So, okay. So I've got it on my phone now. So the twin 125s is what I call them. Anyway, yeah, I don't buy this that law enforcement does not want to tip their hand. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't really understand what they mean, what this cybersecurity expert means by that. But with that said, that's kind of the gist of it right now for Breaking Guthrie. I will keep up with any new developments that are going on. But to be fair, a lot of the updates we're getting are not really updates, not at all. So slow news cycle. I mean, no, this is absolutely fascinating. Breaking Guthrie season 3 has been awesome. So, all right. Kyle Busch on the poll. Well, that's for Sunday. These are the duels. The Daytona duels, I guess is what they call them now. What else is going on that this might be distracting? I'm not sure if I buy into this being a distraction. I just find this to be a complete and total cluster F. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. But that's my view on it. We'll see though. Damn it. Danky just sent me something he wanted me to react to. What did you send me, Danky? Let's see here. Oh, okay. Oof. Do we really want to hear her voice again? All right. So this is Steven Crowder. She's a massive embarrassment. Well, I can't disagree with that headline at all.
None of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein.
She's so emotional, man. It's hard to listen to. This is the Attorney General of the United States of America. And she sounds like a Karen complaining about high prices at a grocery store. Sad.
How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over.
Checks notes.
The Dow is over $50,000.
Oh, you must think you're like Treasury Secretary. I thought her department was DOJ.
Yeah.
So they were asking, here's the thing. They were asking you appropriate questions for the DOJ. You answered them as though the DOJ isn't under your control. Jeffrey Epstein and his
They did pretty well
complicit
for a while,
ilk.
unfortunately.
Nice segue.
Look, here's the thing with Jeffrey Epstein, because you guys have asked us to, and we have covered it, and hopefully that segment that was the beginning, middle, and end, everything that we know was helpful. Please go check it out. What I don't want to do is exactly what these people, those who I'm about to present, are doing. If you have information, if you have names, if there is something shocking, then provide it. Otherwise, shut up. And it seems like clout chasing and it's constant teasing. And we don't believe you anymore. We'll get to that in montage, including people like Nancy Mace. And
I always make a point to remind all of you that I was wrong about Steven Crowder and my criticisms of him. I believe that Steven Crowder might be the one of the best commentators on all of the right. He really is good. I still find his comedy to be incredibly cringe, but I do think that he's great. And I was wrong. And I always admit that whenever I react to Crowder.
And others. But Pam Bondi yesterday, she was live, and I didn't have the stomach for it. Let me be really clear about, I've never been a fan. We didn't cover her hearing because before any of this went down, I thought she was going to be a disaster. Pam Bondi is unintelligent. She's unprincipled, and she should be fired. She's not good at anything of note. She's not a good communicator. She's not effective in policy making at all. And I know she's obviously it's different as a head of the DOJ, but certainly as far as the policies within that department, she hasn't cleaned house. She hasn't answered questions. And yesterday at the hearing, she also did the perpetual victimhood sort of feminism thing with I'm constantly being interrupted. While I will tell you, I have to call balls and strikes. She wasn't answering questions, and it looked quite foolish. It reflected poorly on this administration. She needs to go. Case in point, listen to her testimony.
I mean, this is the part, like, To me, this is the second worst moment for Pam Bondi. And the number one is the Epstein binders. And it's not that far off from the Epstein binder situation, but the Epstein binder situation, I'm not sure she'll ever be able to top that one. But this is definitely a solid second, big time. Now, again, in no way, shape, or form does her being terrible make Massey any less cringy and terrible in his own right. They are both incredibly unlikable and bad.
They are talking about Epstein today.
Correct.
This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents.
Okay.
He is the most transparent president
so far
in the nation's history.
All right.
And none of them ask Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over.
Checks notes.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know
Not
why you're
dollars.
laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now.
You're not there to do a roast session. Oh, like most of this sounded like I want social media Twitter points.
S&P at almost 7,000. What? And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just
Correct.
asked.
Answer.
Are you
Right.
kidding?
That's not an answer.
Dow
Good
has
question.
Shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1.
Do you ever get so embarrassed for someone, even if you don't like them, that you're just like physically in pain, that you're so embarrassed for them? That's where I'm at right now with this. That's where I'm at.
Year. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein and our most transparent president in the nation's history.
Oh, you must think you're like Treasury Secretary. I thought her department was DOJ.
Yeah.
So they were asking, here's the thing. They were asking you appropriate questions for the DOJ. You answered them as though the DOJ isn't under your control, isn't under your purview. This just seems like an allergy to accountability. It does make more sense when you understand that she was using notes from Scott Bessent. So that makes, yes, that's nuisance of fairy. People on audio, that makes no sense. But it's a live show, 11 a.m. So tune in, watch the video at 11 a.m. weekdays.
Bonjour, mon ami.
I get what she's trying to say. She just didn't say it well. Well, that's the whole thing, though, is that she's just not. We love you, Crowder, but I can't sit through your cringy ad reads. I can't do it. They're so cringy. They're so cringy. But what is the ad read? There it is. 40% off for life when you subscribe today. Pick up a bottle at fountaindaily.com. I have no problem giving him his plug, but I can't sit through the cringiness. I've already got enough cringiness with Pam Bondi, so can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Show you exactly how to not be taken seriously, but more importantly, this is something that people like Andrew Wilson talk about. She may not identify as a feminist. It's the covert feminism of using the
it Foundation? Did I say it wrong? Oh, fuck off. I fucked up.
I'm a victim. I can't believe you won't let me finish. That, and here's the thing, there's an appropriate time to bring that up if you are answering the questions appropriately. She wasn't. It's about as bad as a broad on the whatever podcast.
I could have finished my answer. There were more than 500 attorneys and reviewers who assisted with the. They asked the question and they don't want an answer.
That answers my question, ma'am.
The protection of all victims
of the victims
are
is so
protected.
very
You are
important.
protected under. Do you want me to answer or do you want to interrupt? I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer.
Bondi comes off as like this elementary school principal that thinks she's more important than she is, and she spends her time intimidating kids. That's what she sounds like.
We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time.
He was,
Mr.
this
Chairman.
isn't how this works. Chairman, may I give my answer on that?
Kind of is how it works.
It's a political joke, and I need to give my answer on that.
These are obviously improper redactions.
And let me stop for a minute.
I'm talking.
No.
I'm
if they're
talking.
not privileged,
quiet.
Don't yell at me. If they're not,
Mr. Chairman, would you stop the clock? This is on your time. It's not on Mr. Gomez.
They're not
Even though you used your improper redactions.
You'll like my answer.
Now, and I, by the way, it's a valid point to say, yeah, well, there's grandstanding and they're filibustering and talking for a very long time. Sure, but we have a contrast as to how you can deal with that effectively. And it's not, don't talk to me that way. It's not, let me go on and discuss the Dow when you ask me about Epstein. Let me show you how you can handle it thoughtfully in a controlled manner that's very effective. I present to you most improved player, Marco Rubio.
I wore.
Rubio did. Listen, and maybe I'm misremembering, but as much as I have problems with Kash Patel, I feel like Kash Patel did a great job when he was grilled as well. I feel like Kash Patel was very calm, cool, and collected when he went through this roast session. Now, again, that's isolated from how I think he's acted overall, but when he was in this same situation, Kash did a great job of keeping his composure and being very calm. I have not seen this, but I won't be. Rubio has, as Crowder just called him, most improved player. Rubio's been absolutely fantastic. So let's back this up. Here we go.
Manner that's very effective. I present to you most improved player, Marco Rubio.
I worry that you are playing fast and loose with our nation.
Well, I just gave you testimony here.
I just want to conclude by.
Yeah, but I just gave you testimony of how well things are moving forward, not as fast as everybody would like.
But you also said that in 6 or 9 months, if things don't go well, you're going to have to do something else. And the president's already said that he's not ruled out the military option. And you've also just said that, yes, we are at war. The president has wartime powers.
Every president retains the power to use military to protect.
So it's reasonable for me to ask you.
And I gave you a very specific example. Every president retains the right to defend the United States against an imminent threat. Yes, if there are just give you an example, Iranian drones deployed in Venezuela that could threaten the United States, we most certainly will address that, even if it's located in Venezuela. But we hope we don't get to that point. We don't expect to get to that point. I don't think that we're not trending in that direction. That's a fact.
See?
Perfect. There you go. Marco is really good. I can't believe the difference of perception I have of Marco Rubio before he became part of the Trump administration to now, because I really did not like him.
You answer the question, give a very specific example, and when they try and redirect you go, no, hold on, I did answer it. Very specific example, not, hey, don't talk to me that way. Let's talk about the S&P. It just...
And one thing that she said, I want to address this because she's like, the Democrats, that's a fair point. The Democrats didn't bring this up, but do not act like they are the only one asking questions now. Your entire right flank is asking questions right now that you need to answer. Stop acting like this is just political theater on the questions.
Right.
And start answering what is actually going on and who is going to be charged.
And I know what you're going to say, well, you guys have pointed out the hypocrisy. Sure, we have. Because it's Pam Bondi's job to answer for the actions being taken now. That is her job. That's why she's there. The key issue here, she's not actually doing her job. And she's playing victim when people call her, both left and right, on her not doing her job appropriately. And just
she is objectively the worst hire in this Trump administration, which is interesting because she might have been one of the best hires in the first Trump administration, because that's how bad the first administration was. But most of the hires in Trump 2.0 have been fantastic. And so when most of them have been so good and she has been bad, there's going to be a hyper focus on her. And I think that it is just a perfect storm right now. One thing I do believe, okay? I believe that Pam Bondi is loyal to President Trump. I absolutely believe that. I also believe she has no business being in the position she's in. I think she's loyal to Trump. I don't think she's anti-Trump. I don't think she's actively working against Trump. I think she's completely in over her head and she has no idea what she's doing. That's what I think. I think she has no idea what she's doing. She is not qualified for this position. She's not built for this at all. And that's not shocking that a woman is in a powerful position and she can't handle the pressure. That's not shocking at all. However, leadership is all that matters. And Trump is the most responsible for all of this. Trump hired her. Trump put her in this position, and he's just continuing to let her make a fool of herself. He needs to step in and deal with this. And the longer he doesn't, the more it's on him.
This is unhelpful as Bondi is, or I should say, all of these people, and I don't want to use the term grifters, but people who go, I've seen the unredacted, and oh my gosh, boy, wait until you see what I have for you. The constant tease of potential. Will they, won't they? Names on the list with no follow-up.
You would be shocked, Pierce, that some of the names that I have seen that came across the DOJ in
so happy to be there.
DOJ is protecting. And we're talking about people on both sides of the aisle. We're talking about famous people, rich people, people in power, prime ministers, former prime ministers, former presidents, etc., media personalities that are named in these files.
Congresswoman, are you among the members who got to see the unredacted files today?
Yes, I saw some of them, not all of them, obviously. I'll be going back tomorrow to see more.
Any reaction on what you've seen so far?
I think that there's folks who are definitely implicated and co-conspirators.
Let me announce now. Several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names.
What did I say? Brought this up earlier.
5 months, huh?
Bro, they're okay. Remember what I said the other day? All right. Remember what I said about Mick Foley? That's what she just did. Let me see if I can find it. Mick Foley cheap pop. Okay. That's what she did. Hang on. See if I can find a Mick Foley cheap pop. Probably can't play any WWE stuff though. But yeah, so Mick Foley used to get cheap pops, and that is exactly what the Epstein survivor just did. She's like, "Oh, this is going to be a cheap pop. Everybody will cheer when I say this." It's like, this isn't professional wrestling. You're talking about children being harmed, and you're worried about cheap pops, and then you're going to smile when people cheer about it?
Folks who are definitely implicated and co-conspirators.
Let me announce now. Several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names.
5 months, huh?
We know the names.
How long does it take to make a list?
Many of us were abused by them.
They got to figure out how to use Microsoft
Now,
Excel.
together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world.
I can tell you that I have a whole list of documents, including documents that include the name of potential co-conspirators and perpetrators.
Our press secretary and our Department of Justice and other government officials saying,
Bro. Okay. I'm going to say something right now. I can't enjoy a movie anymore because nothing stays sacred. Everything about movies leaks. Okay? Everything about TV shows leaks. I can't enjoy WWE anymore because nothing is a surprise. Everything leaks. All right. There's no such thing as a surprise anymore in the entertainment world. Nothing stays sacred. But all of these people have the Epstein list and all of these powerful people and all of these names, and magically it never leaks online. No one has these names. It's never leaked anywhere. This is the most ironclad list I have ever fucking seen. Yet a fucking movie that you're trying to keep, the spoilers from leaking out. And guess what? Somebody leaks it out and ruins the ending. Somebody leaks this is happening. But the Epstein names? No. Every one of these motherfuckers that stand up here and claim that they have names. I have names of powerful people on the list. Why the fuck don't you tell us who they are? Tell us who's the names. Say them. Shouldn't you tell us right now? Because every minute that goes by, every second that goes by, that you don't release these names of powerful people that are harming children, every second that goes by, another kid is being hurt. And you're virtue signaling on TV about it, because this is not about protecting children. This is about Me Too 2.0. You are dangling this nonsense out there so that it seems like you're the virtuous one. But in reality, if you're standing on national television and you're telling the world that you know the names of powerful people that have harmed women and children, but you don't release them, then you are proving that you are you're not a virtuous person. You are a literal evil piece of shit. Is what you are. So keep grandstanding on TV and telling the world that you have a list of powerful men that are harming children, but you're not going to release it because you're trying to do the right thing. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm sick of these fucking people.
They're moving on from this. I wish that we could.
Okay. Now, let me be really clear before I get to the people getting ahead of it. The public interest in this case is unbelievably strong. The victims will be fine in the court of public opinion, and they will be protected legally. Many people have offered to assist them if they reveal their abusers. Here's the thing. You have names in these files that are public of people who were invited, let's say, to Epstein's house once, didn't know who he was, showed up for dinner, showed up for a party. You have victims' names that were revealed, but not those who were repeat visitors with intimate relationships. The redactions aren't consistent. That's why the public will, of course, side with these people if they provide viable information. Yes. And remember, Elon offered to defend anyone who reveals the truth. He wrote this on X. He wrote, "I will pay for the defense of anyone who speaks the truth about this."
The richest man in the world, who is nearly a trillionaire right now, who has already done this for people that have gotten fired from their jobs over political stuff. He's already put his money where his mouth is. And here he is saying, I will pay for it. And nobody steps up.
And is sued for doing so. So you have legal protection. You will not be villainized in the court of public opinion. If you have this information, stop teasing it and release it, especially if it can help put people behind bars or if it could help prevent future victims. That being said, we have some suspicions as to who may be involved because some suspects are trying to clearly get ahead of the accusations.
And what did you do to celebrate?
Oh, me had a big party on Little St. James, with all my friends, Elmo and Big Bird, and of course, Jeffrey Epstein.
Funny.
Epstein.
You can't just drop that, Mr. Monster.
Right from the mouth of a monster.
Yeah, you can't just drop. You gotta follow up on that.
Ease into it. You can't do that on Good Morning Britain.
No, that's not fair. Oh, you're still here and you're still watching this?
So ultimately, I do believe that this is Me Too 2.0. That's what I believe this is. And now, when I say that it's Me Too 2.0, I don't mean that these things didn't happen, because it's clear that things happened. And Jeffrey Epstein was arrested, and his accomplice was arrested, and there's a lot more people that are involved in this. I don't think there's any doubt about that. No one is disputing that. The issue comes into the motivation behind the people that are dangling this carrot out there. And that is truly where the problem lies, is that the people that are dangling this carrot out there are not in it for the right reasons. They're in it for the manipulation that they can use this for. And they are emotionally manipulating a lot of people that seem to buy into the fact that the people that are pushing these narratives actually care about victims and women and children. And all you need to have is the slightest bit of common sense and a working brain to understand that Democrats who are generally pushing these narratives have proven over and over and over and over again that they don't actually care about protecting not only just women and children, but literally anyone. They want, illegal immigrants. They want open borders. They don't want you to have guns. They don't want ID for voting. They don't want kids to be protected at school. They want to push transgender ideology. They want to push all of this stuff, yet we're supposed to believe that they care about victims suddenly. Okay, it's insane. So, yeah, it's Me Too 2.0. That's what this is. It's an opportunity for, they're basically just masking the Epstein name to make you believe that it's about justice for victims, but in reality, it's only to utilize this to take down people they don't like. That's what it's about. This is about taking down people we don't like, just like the Me Too movement was. Simple as that. And either you can see that for what it is or you can't. Let's see here. Ministry of Wrong Things says, you don't understand, Jeremy. They don't want to say the names because they're afraid. Oh, we got that one earlier. Zinni Biscuit says, might be wrong, but if they did put out a bunch of names, they could be sued. Well, again, as Crowder just, addressed, that they've basically, like Elon's on record saying, I got you. If you put the truth out there, I got you. And many other people have said the same thing, very powerful people. And yet they won't come forward. So I don't know, what, the problem is. Chad says, we know what happened. We just don't know who or where. MAGA Mike says, guys, they're too afraid for their safety to release the names. So they're going on TV shows, TV showing their faces, demanding someone else name them. Okay, exactly. Like you don't go on national TV and claim you're a victim and that for people to go, they need protection, Jeremy. And it's like, they're going on national television, showing their faces and their names, and they are threatening to release a list of people that abused them. That is literally the worst thing you can do if you are in fear for your life. That is the worst thing you can do. James says, at the end of the day, contrary to complaints, no administration has been more transparent regarding Epstein than the Trump administration. 100%. Whiskey Niner says, I heard Beardo was on the list for a reading program. Hot Dudes Looking for Jeremy says, who was the first to call the cops on Epstein? That would be Donald J. Trump. And for the people that are forgetting just my stream yesterday, I could pull up the Asmongold clips, which again, Asmongold even watched this, and Asmon was like, well, I'm not sure this exonerates Trump. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Asmon? Right here. Here we go.
Apparently, this is what's so fucking insane. I did not expect this to happen. Trump.
We already knew this happened. Asmon, you knew this happened. We've all known that Trump was involved in this back then. This is on record. This has been discussed 1,000 times.
Trump was one of the first people who was a whistleblower on Jeffrey Epstein. More evidence that Trump was the original Jeffrey Epstein whistleblower is coming out in the court documents. Trump was responsible for Epstein's first conviction. So you remember whenever this came out?
When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant.
I can tell you that I talked to President Trump.
Yeah, we remember when Mike Johnson said that. He said that Trump was an FBI informant. And the internet went crazy, and suddenly Mike Johnson, and I think Mike Johnson probably wasn't supposed to say that, and so it kind of just went away. But that did happen. And we all covered when Mike Johnson said that. And so Asman playing dumb here is really weird.
Back in 2009, and several times after that, he helped me. He got on the phone. He told me things that were helping our investigation.
I now see why Biden didn't release the Epstein files when he had 4 years to do so. I don't think anybody was predicting this. This is the file. Knew Epstein was disgusting. Trump said Maxwell was Epstein's operative. She is evil and to focus on her. Trump told blank that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump got the hell out of there. Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out they were investigating Epstein. No one could explain how Epstein made his money. Prince Andrew was a fixture in Palm Beach. So Jeffrey Epstein thought that Trump ratted him out. Epstein came to believe that it was Trump who had first caused him to be investigated by the law enforcement in 2005.
Which is why Democrats keep running with this idea that they all did it. The official Democrats account said it. They were like, Jeffrey Epstein said Donald Trump is the most evil man he's ever met. And you're like, you mean the guy that had him arrested? Yeah, adds up. It adds up that Jeffrey Epstein would claim that Trump was evil, considering Trump is the guy that had him arrested.
It's also one from 2016.
Bill Clinton. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
That island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
Trump is the only person naming names. Trump's the only person. The rest of them say, I have a list, and we need to release the list. Trump's the only one that has ever named any names. He's named Bill Clinton. He's named Prince Andrew. I think he's named Bill Gates before. I can't remember if he's named Bill Gates. Trump is the only person that has actually put names out there. All these other cowards are like, I have a list. I have a list.
He has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming. Yes.
Unbecoming. He was a sex offender.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm being polite in the sense that he was a sex offender.
But you were
I'm being polite about the sex offender.
staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
Right. That I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. That was many, many years ago. Now, other people, they went all over with him. They went to his island. Find out the people that went to the island.
Yeah, why is he in the clear? He's not in the clear, but what it was showing is that before any public scrutiny occurred, Donald Trump expressed concern about Epstein directly to the authorities. It seemed pretty obvious to me that Donald Trump and Epstein were pretty close at one point. It's very...
Based on what, Asman? Based on what? It seemed pretty. It seems pretty close. It seems pretty clear that Trump and Epstein were close at one point, based on one video.
But what it was showing is that before any public scrutiny occurred, Donald Trump expressed concern about Epstein directly to the authorities. It seemed pretty obvious to me that Donald Trump and Epstein were pretty close at one point.
Based on what?
Point. It's very hard really for me to say that, you know, like this guy's totally innocent, but at the same time, whenever you're the guy that's ratting this person out before anything ever happens publicly, then I do think that looks very good on you privately. I think it absolutely does.
So yeah, I mean, so that information should be treated in a much different way, and it's not being treated in the way that it should. And again, no videos from Moist Critical about this. No videos from CoffeeZilla about this. No. And it continues to repeat my point. This is why the Epstein files are irrelevant.
These new Epstein emails, kind of crazy. Look at this. Bill Gates was planning pandemic simulations with Epstein in 2017. Yeah, did you see the part about Trump and underage girls? Yeah, those are old allegations already discredited, zero evidence. He did it.
And that's it right there. He did it. Like, what? What about all this other crazy shit? What about all this crazy stuff in these files? Are you reading some of the stuff that's going on? No, nobody cares.
Okay, whatever. Check this out. An email refers to the founder of TMZ as a good friend who could help with media coverage. A peddling was
Harvey Levin, a good friend, Harvey Levin, who could help Jeffrey Epstein with media coverage. The same Harvey Levin that's at the center of the Nancy Guthrie story.
who could help with media coverage. A peddling was controlling the narrative through media. Not that this is something new, but it's kind of wild. But Trump is in the files. I thought we already settled that with the facts, but Trump is in the files. Epstein had exchanges on trans children and how to normalize it. This guy wasn't just trafficking girls. He was in talks to push gender ideology. Don't care, Trump is in the files. Epstein sent an email saying Ghislaine Maxwell's father got killed after trying to blackmail Israeli intelligence. Trump, in an email to someone, Epstein said, "I represent the Rothschilds." Trump is in the files. Epstein lived in the Vatican for a while, giving design direction. Trump, he was working to overthrow Putin. Trump is in the files. He's literally in a picture with boxes containing CIA documents. Trump. Okay, there are emails about murders staged as suicides, government cover-ups, money laundering, a black market of sex trade, presidents and prime ministers all over the world, Mossad, CIA. Epstein ran at the top of global power. He had influence there. These are things to be looked at. And let's be honest, you didn't care or ask for these files when Joe Biden was president and when he had them. And now, you suddenly care about the children and the victims. And the only name that's been totally vindicated here, yet you're trying very hard to weaponize these files against, is Trump. Exactly.
I played it many times, and every time it continues to emphasize the point that this was never about truth and helping, victims and focusing on victims. It was never about that. It's about one thing and one thing only. And that is Trump. And that's the truth of the matter. Me Too 2.0 all over again. So there you have it right there. Okay, so it looks like people are finally finding the snake pit right here on Twitter. So if there's things you want me to check out, you can feel free to post them right there, or just in general, if you're just looking for conversation or things to post, you can post it there. We have very clear rules in this group, and I'd like you to all focus on these rules. I was very clear and concise with the rules package. So there's the rule right there. These are set and enforced by community admins and are in addition to X's rules. You already know. I'm not going to waste my time insulting people. Like, you are like, just don't be a fucking retard, man. Like, it's really that simple. All right. So you already know. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see. Tokefez says, Jeremy, I apologize for calling you gay. That's nice. Slain Hope says, I thought only women were into murder mysteries. Udite for 20 says, not saying I'm convinced of anything, but it's interesting looking back at the Elon Trump fallout when Elon said that Trump was in the files. Now that we know why he was, it makes me remember the theories that it was staged. I still don't think it was staged, but I hear what you're saying. I know MAGA Mike thinks it was all part of their plan as well. I can't get there with that one, man. But 3 for 20 says, remember, many women started out minor victims, but became traffickers and employees themselves. The jerky emails were from them. They may feel shielded if the names are just exposed instead of them making the accusations. Thank you, 3 for the 20. Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, if you're telling me that there are victims out there that are scared to death, I am going to be very sympathetic to that. Because I understand that. That's a very scary situation. And it's horrible that this has happened to people, and I never want anyone to go through stuff like that, but obviously people have, and it's it's tough. I don't know, and I mean, I'm no expert at literally anything, but I'm very not I don't understand how people that are traumatized and scared to death for their life to speak up about this are willing to get in front of cameras, in front of every mainstream outlet in the country, and speaking with their real name and their face and threatening to release names of powerful people that were involved, but not actually releasing it. 2 + 2 does not equal 4 in that equation. It's like, if you were to tell me there are victims that are scared to death and they don't want to show their faces and they don't want their names out there, but they would like for these names to be released, I would be like, I get that. But when they stand up in front of cameras and go, we're going to get together and make our own list, and then they all clap and cheer, that doesn't seem authentic. So, but bottom line, hopefully we will find out more. If Gloria Allred involved with them instantly discredits them, yes, absolutely. Maybe the serious threats came after the press conferences when was the last one of those. Apparently they did another interview yesterday. That's what somebody in the chat said. Apparently the Epstein victims did another interview yesterday. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. Epstein victims. Yes, they like right there. Yeah, 23 hours ago, right there they are. So yeah, there you have it. 800,000 views 23 hours ago. So they don't seem too scared. Bill Herb says, I had someone on X tried arguing that Trump wasn't a focus and it was the victims, while also saying Trump's a big name in the files, and that's why it's important. Literally in this, this video. Yes, literally that. That's why I keep replaying it, because it's just a great video, and it makes the point perfectly. Site Team says, you are fascinating to talk to, Tax. Oh my God. Teresa says, Savannah and OJ friend Tax. ARM514 says, finally, not just me calling out the possibility TMZ in this situation makes no effing sense. It is true. It's a red flag. John says, TMZ suddenly claimed the reward. Haha. Andrew CR says, Carlos tax. Phil says, vote for Carlos. Packy Proton says, Meghan Markle and Miss Meghan Markle are on the Guthrie case. Solved in hours. Now sarcasm mode activated. Toke Fan says, TMZ pays for info more than other outlets. I guess so. I guess that's how it works. I guess. Dane Miller says, dude, if TMZ is getting letters from the attackers, how is no one putting cameras around the location where the letters are being received? It's a great question. Andrew says, this hearing could have been a strong worded letter. Pippi says, I literally just tried to fast forward her speech. John says, every passing day, I lament more and more that Matt Gaetz is not Attorney General. Sad but true. Phil says, Bondi has leered nothing from this experience. Over on Rumble, Hayden Rage says, I'll bet these victims wouldn't give 2 Fs about male rape victims like myself. They are only doing it for money. I don't give an F anymore. If you were trafficked. Slain Hope says, the post on the Snake Pit community, click post bottom left. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Dark Red Knight says, I agree with the IDOT. Kai Guy says, why would Trump blow the whistle on something he was also implicated in? Make it make sense. Well, the whole thing is they're just going to tell you that Trump, he just made that up. He just put that in the files and made it up. That's the narrative they're going to go with right there. So that's it, pretty much it. So, let's see. What the hell is this? What is this? After 10 days. Why is he walking like that? It doesn't even feel real. What's he doing? So weird, man. You got boxing gloves on? All right, that's top tier content right there. That is top tier content right there. Hell yeah, look at Donnie Danko. Let's freaking go. Good stuff. There's Hailstorm showing up to the party right there. So yeah, all right. So Snake Pit is pop. What the You guys are insane, bro. You guys are absolutely insane. Drew Bar says you're fascinating to talk to, Tax. Vault 199 Gaming says almost want to question if there were any victims now. Samurai says Breaking Guthrie is a fake distraction from Epstein. Taker says, how come Dems aren't talking about men who took their wives' fathers' last names when they married, being unable to register to vote? Hashtag Save Act. Yeah, so the Save Act, I was planning on actually talking about that tonight. So let's discuss that. Or first, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this line right here. So RFK was on with Theo Vaughn, and RFK dropped a legendary quote. A legendary quote from RFK. Here we go.
And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats.
Woo! One more time.
And I said, I'm not scared of a germ. You know, I used to snort cocaine off of toilet seats. And yeah, I know this disease will kill me. Right. Like if I don't treat it, which means going to meetings every day, it's just bad for my life. So for me, it was survival. And then, you know, that the opportunity to help another alcoholic, that's the secret sauce of the meetings. And that's what keeps us all sober. And
there is nobody that can't watch that and not just appreciate it. And they're like, you know what? I respect the hell out of that. I mean, how can you not? How can you not just go like, I appreciate the honesty there? Like, he might as well just start a YouTube channel and start talking about pop culture like Gary. He's on his way. That is hilarious. Holy crap. RFK don't give a damn, all right? I love how casually he said it too. He's just like, yeah, you know, snorted some cocaine off some toilets, you know. So right here, okay, President Trump celebrates the Save America Act passing through the House, calls on the Senate to immediately get it to his desk.
It's the Save America Act, and the Democrats are against it. I heard one of them say, we will stop the Save America Act. No, we're trying to save America. And it has to do with largely voting. And basically, it's got three very simple points. It's got voter ID, photo ID, but voter ID with a photo, right? It's got the confirmation of U.S. citizenship. You have to be a citizen. So you have a vote, you have an ID. That's about a 99% one. And I think 90% with Democrats. Then you have confirmation U.S. citizenship. That's about a 99% one with Republicans, about 86% with Democrats, except Democrat politicians because they cheat on elections. And then you have no mail-in ballots. And there would be no mail-in ballots, very important. You know, we're the only country in the world that does a system like we do. We're the only country in the world that has mail-in ballots. The way we do this is unbelievable. It guarantees cheating. So it's no mail-in ballots with the exception of disability, illness, military, or if you're traveling, you can get an exemption. You know, if you happen to be out of the country for a good reason, you can have an exemption. So with exceptions, it's no mail-in ballots, and that will assure the security of our crooked elections. We have crooked elections. Yeah. Your name.
So you've got that, and then we got this right here with Scott Jennings. Let's listen in.
What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
the SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data.
I love he's just like, how? Just answer it. How?
If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So
this is the same president. If we want to continue,
you haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have. That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID. The reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country. And it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote.
Ooh, look at that face. She's pissed. Ooh.
80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters
the
are
SAVE
too
Act
dumb to know what's good for them? I mean,
the
it
SAVE Act
sounds
isn't
pretty,
just about
it sounds pretty condescending to me.
The SAVE Act is not
three-quarters of black voters who want voter ID.
Just to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about ideas. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't. I actually.
It also makes it very hard for married women who've changed
I was just going to say we talked about this before. It's not. It actually. There's an argument to be made that red state voters, women, poor white voters could be just as.
I mean, or we could just listen to your very own poll, CNN. Would you like to hear what your own network said?
Okay, what's the racial breakdown on this, right? Because I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here, favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it, 82% of Latino, 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
Just very much common sense. Very much. I know the audio's a little low on this one right here.
You think they're dumb too, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing.
Nobody
hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
No, please don't. No.
There's a deflection from talking about Donald Trump's racism.
I'm actually
right there.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote. Abby.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate. Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage have to provide additional proof that they've changed their legal names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats
Scott, why
make these
don't you
same
actually
arguments.
respond to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am, and
as
the substance
opposed
is
to
this.
making this about something that it's not.
You're saying
it's not just about voter ID.
Married
It's
women,
also about
black
who has
voters,
access
and rural people are too stupid to figure out how to register to
me?
vote.
No, that's
not.
that is
not what Democrats have been making this argument all week.
That's not what she said.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
Let me offer.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
Exact same argument.
Absolutely insane. Before we continue, I have to share the good news with all of you. Bubba Smollett has wrecked in the Daytona duel race. So that's good news. Bubba Smollett is out of the race. in the Daytona duels. And so there's only about 5 laps left, and Bubba Smollett is out. See ya, Bubba Smollett. Get him out. DeBella says this is a strong worded super chat tax. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. And then Justin for 20 says, if voting is a constitutional right that doesn't require ID, flip the script and tell them that neither should buying a gun require ID. Exactly. And watch what will happen. Watch what will happen. You know what will happen. Let's see. I got that one. Drew says, you're fascinating to talk to, Tax. Vault 199. Got that one. Got that one. Your Barmy says, I'm ready to live the life RFK lived. Eric says, RFK and Gary partied together, confirmed. Bubba Dooms. Somebody get me a meme of Gary and RFK snorting cocaine off of a toilet. I need that meme in the snake pit or on Reddit, wherever you prefer to drop the memes. Let me know. Already got some memes over here. Fucking circus tent. Oh man. That's awesome right there, Daniel. Hell yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. She's in the upside down. God. She's in the upside down. Oh no. Let's see. Bubba Doom says, hell, RFK Deuce just won me over the way Gary won me over. Honesty like that is beautiful and rare. I see why T-Money picked them. Pins Fan for Life says, toilet cocaine tax. Brian Grump says, no, ma'am, you are the idiom. Preon Corp says, DJ Cobra, I got Kino Casino to watch. Neurotic reads my super chat. RRTU ate his daughter's eyes clip last night. It was fucking hilarious. That's awesome. Hail Kino Casino. Bill Herb says, I'm starting to think Jeremy is actually beardoing disguise. Why would you say something so mean to me? Why would you be so mean? That is a very, very mean thing to say. You are fascinating to talk to. God, what a weird woman. Ugh. Freaking weirdo, man. You can't hate the media enough. That is true. Very, very true. Let's see here. Holy crap. All right. See here. Dude, what the fuck? Spirit Halloween. Oh no. Spirit Halloween opens at Guthrie House. There it is right there. Got the Spirit Halloween. We're all set up now for that one. So caught up there. Okay. Yeah, the memes are great. Oh no.
We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't discourse.
My people cried in theaters finding relief.
Holla.
My people cried so they could see us as human beings. They recognize propaganda they spew.
I am black.
And try to weaponize everything that we do.
I'ma tell you something. They spin and woke, bastardize it, appreciate it.
It says appropriate it, not appreciate it.
Appreciate it, appropriated, whatever. Speak truth to power. Keep an eye out, not fodder for your clickbait. Speaking of which, journalists, did you forget it's your job to provide the truth?
Bling bling, you forgot your bling bling. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't discourse.
Oh boy. The memes will be glorious. The memes will be, oh no. I'm not even scrolling that. Not on YouTube. Not gonna happen. Yeah, that's gonna make the show even better. You guys just having direct access between the subreddit and the community, the Snake Pit community on Twitter. That'll be a lot better. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to be posting. It's going to be crazy. Bill Herb says, how do I get a refund for every super chat I have sent to you? What is this? Soldier Ross says, holy crap tax. Mike says, my interpretation of this is either race dictates if you're intelligent enough to get an ID, or those who issue ID discriminate to non-whites. 100%. That's exactly what it is. But we're going to end it there. That is a throwback meme, but we've had a good stream. I don't think I'll go live again later tonight, but we'll see. Laughing Man predicted it. He predicted it. Jeremy's going to call it there. Look at there. But anyway, damn good stream, brother. Thanks, Mo Monty. I appreciate it, man. But thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Tomorrow, I'm probably only going to do one stream tomorrow because I have stuff to do tomorrow. So I'll keep you posted on that. Ultron says, don't F with our discourse tax. Yeah, probably only one stream tomorrow night after Friday Night Tights. But at the same time, Arclight said, see you in 3 hours, Jeremy. You never know. It could happen. You never know. But I will start posting. When I go live in this community here. And I probably need to do it on Reddit as well. So, but I will do that. But so it's either here, if you want to be here, or if you want to be here, I'll try to get me or the mods to post links. So there's an extra notification set for those of you that don't get notifications on YouTube. So I appreciate it. Have a good night. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.